Everybody. It's good to see you or have you see me. We've been in Isaiah this week, starting Isaiah, and Isaiah is a book that is very prophetic and accurately predicts exactly what's going to happen. So in the second chapter, Isaiah says this. He says, "In the last days, the mountain of the Lord's house," that was the mountain. Whenever you hear mountain described in the Bible, it's almost always referring to Jerusalem and to the temple. So the mountain of the Lord's house will be the highest of all, the most important place on earth. It will be raised above the other hills, and people from all over the world will stream there to worship. People from many nations will come and say, "Come, let us go to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of Jacob's God, to the house of Jacob's God, There he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the Lord's teaching will go out from Zion, his word will go out from Jerusalem." Well, I'm sure that as the Jews are reading this, they were thinking that it was only Jerusalem, but later on in the book of Revelation, it talks about this worship that Isaiah was predicting. Because it says in Revelation 7, 9 through 10, it says, "After this I saw a vast crowd, too great to count, from every nation and tribe and people and language, standing in front of the throne and before the Lamb Jesus. And they were shouting with a great roar, 'Salvation comes from our God who sits on the throne and from the Lamb.'" So here's the fulfillment of this prophecy that you see in Revelation, where when we are all in heaven worshiping God, all the nations of the earth, all the people of the earth. You know, we often, when you look at Scripture, we get way too literal with Scripture, and we think, well, yeah, it says this has to be this. This has to be Jerusalem, but it turns out it's heaven and not Jerusalem at all. And this, but it prophesies. I mean, we could have seen that because it says it will be the highest of all. Well, what's highest of all? Well, that's heaven, right? And the most important place on earth. Well, what's the most important place on earth? Well, heaven is the most important place on earth. And then kind of a prophetic thing about what will happen with Christianity after Christ's death and resurrection. It says, the very last, it says, "For the Lord's teaching will go out from Zion. His word will go out from Jerusalem." And isn't that exactly what happened? His teaching started in Jerusalem. Jesus died in Jerusalem, but the word went out from Jerusalem through Paul and the disciples and others to spread all over the world, so that when we do get to heaven, there will be people from all nations, too vast to count, who will be worshiping with us in heaven. Maybe when we think about these things, it helps us a little bit when we worry about our problems today, whatever problems we may have, that they're not quite as important as we think. Just a little while ago, I was upset about something, and I went home and I said, "Lord, I need you to talk to me because I'm upset." And I won't say exactly what it was about, but I opened up the Bible to Matthew just by chance. And Matthew was a sermon, it was what Jesus was being tempted by the devil. And each time the devil wants Jesus to focus on himself, and Jesus says, "No, we're going to focus on God. This is going to be about God. This is going to be about the salvation of the people of this earth, not about me." And all of a sudden the light came on in me, and I thought, that's my problem. Everything I'm upset about right now is about me and not about God. And I think that's true for all of us, a lot of us, when we're so upset about something, it's usually because we're trying to control it or we're trying to be God. And the secret is to let go and trust the Lord and make it about Him, not about us. That's the secret, by the way, to not being anxious. When you let go of trying to control things, trying to manipulate things, and just let God be the one who's in charge and get you out of the God seat. So I hope that helps. It's a great passage. We'll be seeing lots of passages in Isaiah that prophesy what's going to happen. In the Dead Sea Scrolls, one of the many books of the Bible, the Old Testament they had, but the one they had the most of was Isaiah, because it was telling about the future, and it certainly does. So we'll find a lot about that in the days and weeks to come. God bless. I hope you have a great day. Bye.